Hey guys, what's up? So I received a lot more questions recently and also heard that some were using my build as theirs as a template. And since CI is back and Trickster's meta right now, I thought there would be no better time than now making a video. So yeah, today I want to talk about my CI Flicker Strike Blade Flurry character. And what makes it so special is it's a CI melee character. And it's making use of energy shield, evasion and block. And to give you an idea what you have to deal with in this video, I want to run a map real quick. Also, I weapon swap to Mineral Flag and Warcry to generate 2 power charges at the beginning. Oh. Wow, that was a tanky one. Oh, silver coin. Oh, alchemy. I'm low on alchemy orbs, so that's nice. Okay. And yeah, you will definitely have to play it in lockstep. And still with lockstep, I'm sometimes desyncing. Oh. Oh wow.
That stretches the sanity of the mind.
So yeah, that's that should give you an idea what this build is about. So yeah, the reason why I haven't been making a video in the past or updating the guide was that since the CI nerf, it was really hard to get items with those values high enough to get a decent life pool. Also, it was really hard to get a nice physical DPS weapon. But since the introduction of fossil crafting, the betrayal crafting button, and now the synthesis implicits, it's really realistic now to get really good items in the temp league, and yeah, making this build viable. But still, it's quite expensive to make it work. But yeah, I can show you later a gear set from the league as an example. Yeah, so this build right here is pretty damn old. Yeah, as you can see, it's nearly 4 years old, and the funny thing is, it always has been an energy shield evasion character. And the recent changes to Trickster kind of complemented this build, which is pretty funny. So yeah, why Trickster? So for those who don't know, I really like to combine certain defensive mechanics and with an offensive one, and yeah, I kind of try to get a synergy working. So yeah, why Trickster? So we get a lot of quality of life from Trickster. For example, we get charge generation from Swift Killer while killing monsters or while channeling, which is really nice. Also, we don't have to worry about mana cost on Whirling Blade and Flicker Strike, since with Weave the Arcane, movement skills cost no mana. And with Ghost Dance and Escape Artist, we get a lot of nice defensive mechanics and also energy shield. So through Ghost Dance, we get every second Ghost Shroud, up to 3 of them. And for each one of them, we get 3% reduced damage, which is quite nice, right? But there's more. When we get hit, we lose Ghost Shroud and get 5% equal to our evasion rating as energy shield back. So yeah, that's what I really like about it. I mean, it's rewarding you for stacking a defensive mechanic in this case. Also with Escape Artist, we cannot be stunned while having Ghost Shroud up. and get increased attack speed and cast speed per Ghost Shroud. And with with Escape Artist itself, we get 20% chance to dodge spell on hits, which is really nice. I really could feel this missing gap before they added this. And also, if you are using a hybrid chest like I do, you get additional energy shield based on evasion rating on your body armor. So yeah, I really like that. And yeah, since I already have the passive tree open, I would like to mention that I've added a claw version of this build, and I recently also added a Unnatural Instinct jewel version. So if you have the extra money to buy this jewel, or maybe get this jewel, you can respec into this version. And this one has more damage, more energy shield, but yeah, don't worry, there's a non-unnatural instinct version in my build guide. Yeah, oh, and before someone asks, claws are better at the moment, so if you want more DPS, start with a claw. I ended up having a dagger, so I'm keeping it. And yeah, speaking of defensive mechanics, I'm using a red nightmare jewel, which you don't have to, but this is giving me here 1% additional block chance, and also here. And yeah, I generate endurance charges for it. And for those who don't know, with the endurance charges also help with the blood rage degen, which I'm using to generate additional frenzy charges. This is really nice to have. So let's see. I always check if I missed something. Oh yeah, I'm a bit unlucky in getting accuracy rating on gear, so that's why I have acuity and finesse in the passive tree. But if you manage to get a more accuracy rating on items, you may be able to drop those passive points and spend them into more energy shield or damage. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, so let's talk about item choices that are maybe not that obvious. Yeah, let's start with Shaper's Touch gloves. The first time when they released them, I didn't really pay attention and I didn't really value them. But they are best in slot for this build, and the simple reason is you get a lot of stats through the attributes like strength, intelligence, and dexterity. In my case, I get 58% increased energy shield, 630 accuracy rating, 62 evasion rating, and 60% increased melee physical damage. Well, that's a lot. I mean, right now I am having 9,677 energy shield. If I de-equip the gloves, I drop down to 8,250. And same goes for my damage, 51,000, and with those gloves, 61,000. So yeah, those are best in slot. And yeah, for my build, you will need the corruption. The attacks have crit chance corruption. What else? So yeah, the next thing would be the Vertex Wall Mask. I mean, you can of course use a rare helmet, but again, I really like to stack my defensive mechanics, and there's no other viable choice if you want a lot of energy shield and a lot of evasion rating. Also, the +1 circular gems helps with getting enough mana left over for attacking with Blade Flurry, and they're pretty cheap as far as I know. So yeah. I nearly forgot. I do stack block chance, right? So I'm using a Reckoning gem with Tempest Shield and Cast on Crit. And I mean, Cast on Crit is pretty weird, but it's the only way to to cast the Tempest Shield, which is then also giving me additional chance to block spells and attacks. So it's not necessarily to make it viable, but hey, it's additional block chance, and I again like to stack my defensive mechanics. Yeah, so most likely you will have problems getting, especially at the beginning, to get a really high energy shield on your character. So you can switch out the Battle of the Deceiver for a Crystal Belt or something like that. The reason why I'm using Battle of the Deceiver is the Intimidate bonus on enemies. Intimidate is a 10% more damage multiplier, which you can usually get, or many other builds get those with using Tom Fist's gloves and placing a Murderous Eye Jewel in them. But since Shaper's Touch is best in slot for this build, I have to use those this build. But then you can also get, as far as I know, Intimidate on hit on rings through synthesis crafting, which is kind of expensive as far as I know, but you get the idea why I'm using Battle of the Deceiver. So yeah, if you're struggling, again, you can switch those out for a rare pair of, not a rare pair, a rare belt. Same goes for Death Door. So Death Door is really nice because it gives me bleed immunity and an additional endurance charge. Again, endurance charge is helping me against physical damage and also physical damage over time, which is blood rage essentially. But here again, you can switch those out for a rare pair of boots, and craft Cannot Be Frozen on them. This way you can replace the suffix on the flask right here for Cannot Be Inflicted with Bleeding, or try to corrupt Abyssal Jewels, not Abyssal Jewels, but jewels in general for the Corrupted Blood immunity. Yes, okay. Let's talk about gem links. So with 3.6 we got some new support gems. One of them is Energy Shield Leech. And yeah, since I'm using Blood Rage, my Energy Shield is never full. That's how I get the 39% more damage, which is, yeah, is pretty crazy. But the more interesting one is Infused Channeling. So this one is giving me 38% more damage, and if I gain Infusion, I get 10% more damage of each type, matching the supported skill gem tags. So in this case, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I should get 10% more attack damage, 10% more AoE damage, 10% more channeling damage, and 10% more melee damage. So this is pretty crazy. But what I also really like, since this build is by the end an evasion based character without any armor stacking, I really like the fact that we also get 8% less physical damage taken from hits while channeling, and also while channeling we get 8% less damage from hits of types matching the skill gem tag. So we get less damage from attacks, AoE and melee, and I mean, I'm not sure, but I think there are a few monsters that do channeling skills. So yeah, this gem right here is really powerful because it's giving this build more damage but also more defense. Yeah, really nice. Probably getting nerfed, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Also, many people ask me why not go 100% Flicker Strike, which is totally possible, don't get me wrong, but since I'm playing any type of content, I want to have control about the position of my character and such against, for example, the Guardians, as you saw earlier, against Minotaur. And that's why I'm using a 6-link Blade Flurry and a 4-link for clearing Flicker Strike. The next thing is the Heralds. So Herald of Ash would give me more damage, but it would reduce the clear speed. And the reason why is, let's say I'm attacking a group of monsters with Flicker Strike, and I kill the first monster. If I would use Herald of Ash, the overkill burning damage would apply to the surrounding monsters, right? And those would guarantee die of the burning damage. However, they are at that moment still alive, so Flicker Strike would target them. And this way I would unnecessarily Flicker Strike to more monsters, and this would result in consuming more frenzy charges than needed. However, with Herald of Ice, those surrounding monsters would die instantly because of the shatter effect of Herald. Because of the Herald of Ice on kill shatter effect, and this way the clear speed would be faster. Yeah. Yeah, I think I covered all I wanted to cover. If you still have questions, leave a comment or check the build guide, link is in the description. And yeah, in the end I want to show you guys the example gear from the Temp League, which is really crazy good. This dagger, for example, is around 400 PDPS, something like that. Really crazy. Here is a good example as for the helmet slot. He went pure energy shield and has 100 energy shield more than I do with the Vertex mask. Shield slot is also really good, really strong. He mentioned that he's working on better rings, but this one is really good. This one not so much. Amulet is crazy good. Compared to my one, he managed to get accuracy rating. Yeah, so he is having a better time getting chance to hit above 90% than I do. His chest piece is also really insane. With the socketed gems supported by level 1 maim, he had he basically has a 7 link here. Also the attacks have crit chance suffix is insanely good. And yeah, he also using Shapeless Touch, he also using Buff Deceiver, and he's using rare pair of boots with 323 compared to Death's Door. Death's Door also only has 77, and the strength roll on the Death's Door boots is giving me 8% increased energy shield, so yeah, those are giving him a lot more energy shield than my Death's Door boots. Yeah, that's about it. I hope I could shed some light in the dark, and hope I hope you could learn something. And yeah, I hope you have a great time. Bye bye.